Coming to you from the Fishbowl Radio Network inside Globe Life Stadium in Arlington, Texas. This is the Boardroom with Jacoy James Pugh, Latoya Barrow, and Faustina Nkwacha. Executive producer, Cindy B.
Hello, greetings and salutations. This is the Boardroom with Black Women's Wall Street, Inc. This is your girl, Jacoy James Pugh.
And this is Latoya Barrow.
And hello, everyone. It's Faustina. Welcome to the Boardroom.
Hey, ladies. We back in this thing. We got the Three Musketeers. Yeah. Faustina's back with us.
Yes.
I got my synchronized swimmer with me. Come on, Faustina, one time.
Okay.
The Boardroom with Black Women's Wall Street, Inc. All right. That's the last time for the rest of the show, okay?
Y'all not gonna work me.
All right.
One for the culture, right?
Right. So we are so excited today. We are going to dive in just a moment because we have a phenomenal guest by the name of Miss Karena H. Calhoun. She is a certified mindset and life coach of WK Consulting LLC, and she's got a lot to say. She is unapologetically thebomb.com. And our topic today, we're going to be focused on the wealth and inequality income gap. So we're going to be talking quite a bit today with regards to that. But before we get into it, earlier, Toya, you were talking about I guess you went grocery shopping and
Grocery shopping.
What did you went something?
Yeah, so okay, I went, y'all don't judge me. I went to Walgreens.
Okay. I like Walgreens.
I went to Walgreens and they had a sale. Like I went in for one thing and came out with about 10, y'all.
They have good sales.
Yes, it was a good sale.
Yeah.
So I got some laundry detergent, okay. I got some laundry
Need
detergent.
that, check.
And some those little scent beads that you can put in your stuff, the little Downey's Unstoppable.
Check.
Girl, they was on sale. Now if y'all just really need to know, go check out Walgreens, y'all, because today they had a phenomenal sale. Like I walked out with a lot of stuff.
But it made me think of something because today was the first time that I ever utilized online shopping through Walmart. You know, like how you can go online and order it and then they bring it out to your car.
Yeah, girl, where you been?
Under a rock. Listen, I was amazed. I said, I can shop.
You can shop
and pay for it.
Absolutely.
But see, I was nervous because I didn't, I was like, oh, they're going to crack my eggs. They're not going to get the right type of the choice of meat that I'm going to want. But I was really,
I've used it once. They're really good.
I was pleased.
Yeah.
Really, really
when
good.
you're busy,
you're busy, you're a boss chick.
Right.
You gotta
Take care of my coworker.
So,
That's right. My coworker.
Right. Yeah, absolutely.
We got to make it work for us. So, ladies, if you're listening to us and you are a boss chick, you're trying to figure out how to balance your family, your lifestyle, your home, and everything. Online shopping is the way to go for Walmart. Yes. And go to Walgreens today.
Yes.
And get your scent beads. Amen.
And you can also do it through Uber. Uber offers you a number of options too.
Okay.
All right. We got our Uber special.
We have you covered. We talk about it all.
We do.
Yeah.
So we're gonna dive right into it because Karena Calhoun, this lady, Coach Karena, certified mindset and life coach. Get it right.
Go be great.
Go be great. So Miss Karena Calhoun is based in Richmond, Virginia. She is a certified mindset and life coach, and her focus is guiding women entrepreneurs through leveling up in their business by unveiling their authentic selves, discovering their purpose, increasing their self-confidence, and destroying self-defeating obstacles. Like, I love all of that.
That's preaching right there.
Right?
That's some good stuff.
And so we want to invite Miss Karena into the boardroom to have a seat at the table. So without further ado, Miss Karena Calhoun. Karena.
Coach Karena, welcome to the boardroom.
Thank y'all. Y'all about to make me cry. I love it. I love it.
We're so glad to have you.
Yes. Yeah, we are excited to have you. Thank you for being on this platform. And Karena, let me just say this: we had a moment, right? A couple of weeks back, we were talking because you were. I had an opportunity to be a part of your show because I know you yourself have a podcast, and we really just got into the thick of it. We really just talked about some of the things that's going on and being a black female entrepreneur and just a lot of the things that's going on from a social and political standpoint. And it's just full circle for you to come and join us, and we're so excited to have you, Karena.
Yes, welcome.
I am honored to be amongst you amazing women.
Well, thank you.
We're glad to have you. Thank you so much for joining us in the boardroom.
Thank you. So let's dig into it, Karena. So, Karena, what is it that you want people to know about you? Like, when people hear Karena Calhoun, what do you want them to know and understand about who you are?
I want people to know, Jacoy, and this is a great question. I want them to know that I want to see them living the impact that they were destined for. Mm-hmm. It's not about me. It's not about knowing that I have a podcast. It's not about knowing that I'm a mindset and life coach. It's not about any of that. I want them to know that at the end of the day, I desire to see them doing exactly what they were destined to do.
I love beautiful. That is beautiful. And speaking on that topic, this is LaToya. Miss Karena, how are you doing today?
Hey, LaToya.
Hey, all right. So, when we're talking about when you're saying you want, for them to live their best life, we understand that as being your purpose. So, when did you discover that helping those women entrepreneurs find their purpose was actually your purpose?
It's been a long road, LaToya, to be very honest with you. I started this process back in 2009, but I did not know that that's exactly what it was. So I've done a ton in between then and now, and it really came to light for me last year, and that's when I began to really just shift. And a lot of people talk about pivoting, but it was more than a pivot. It was more so of I needed to actually stand where I was supposed to be standing. I needed to be positioned properly. And so it's been some years. It's been a long time.
Right. That's how it happens sometimes.
Yeah, I love that. Now, Coach Karena, you talked about being positioned. So let's go all the way back and look at where you started in the foundation, because your journey, I want to know about your journey, because you were called into ministry and you delivered your first sermon November 2008. You became licensed in 2011 and ordained in 2015. So what was that journey like for you?
Oh my goodness, it was, and just to be clear, Christina, it's still not done.
Wow.
The journey continues, but during that time in 2008, I heard God call me into ministry. He told me that, I was his minister of flame. He told me to come in and feed his people, to be that person that helps to facilitate that healing. And I'm going to be very honest with you ladies, because of things that happened in my young adult life, in my childhood, I didn't like women. So when I went into ministry, and then he immediately showed me, listen, I want you to really pinpoint women. I'm like, who is he talking to?
Like, not me.
And so it's been a journey. I had to come full circle and really understand that things that had been done to me by certain people was not indicative of every single woman that I would come into contact in my life, and that it was not something that I needed to hold against everyone, but that was a part of the journey that I needed to be on. It was healing. It was deep transformational healing. And so when he called me into ministry, and then ultimately to begin to work with women, I took it, honestly, full steam straight ahead. But it was under the idea of ministry, outreach.
I love that. He called you Minister of Flame. I love that. That is so cool. And I appreciate the fact that you said that God dragged you into your purpose, because that's what I like to tell people. Yeah. Doing this is just him dragging me into my purpose. And like you said, we just have to go full speed ahead.
Yeah, absolutely. And the thing that the biggest thing about you, Karena, is that you are very authentic. You're very true and just pure to how you feel and what you speak to, and you do it unapologetically. And the thing that I greatly appreciate is you said something is that originally, listen, you didn't like women, right. And I think even as we sit here on this platform, Black Women's Wall Street, as we sit on this platform and knowing that our target audience is Black women, females, one of the things that I'd be curious to know from you is, what were some of those things that God dealt with you on with regards to working with women? Was there kicking and screaming? Did you go? I mean, it's one of those things that a lot of people just say, you know what, I don't want to work with this target audience. I don't want to deal with them. So talk to us a little bit about that, a little bit deeper, to understand how did you just move through that?
Well, I will tell you this. I'll be very transparent. There were times where he would really, so to speak, get in my face and say, listen, I need you to let the forgiveness flow.
Yes.
I need you to trust, and I need you to move forward. And everyone is not going to receive what you have to say. There will be some that will come to only take.
Oh, yes. That is so true.
At the end of the day, when you have really set your heart to be a servant, you have to know and understand that there are some that are going to come and take. They're not going to come back and say thank you.
Yes.
They're not going to come back and give.
Nope.
They're not going to come back and do anything. They're going to go on with their life, and you have to be okay with that.
Yeah.
You have to be okay.
Yes.
But he did. I wouldn't say it was necessary. Well, yeah, I would say, if I'm going to be honest, it was a kicking and dragging. Because, like I said, I just did not, it wasn't something that if you had told me that 5 years prior to that, the me then, I would have cussed you out. I would have blocked you. Something. I would have got real serious with you on that situation. But I had to come to terms with what he was saying and really understand that he was telling me, you are my hands in the earth, and I need you to facilitate this. Now, he wasn't saying he needed me, but he was saying, I need you to know that this is what I want you to be doing, and you have been called to do this before you were in your mother's womb. Right. So it's not a choice. It's not an option. Go and do what I've told you to do. Because if you don't, you're going to be unfulfilled for the rest of your life.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah. And I think that's what a lot of people will be crippled by fear and not move forward in a particular lane or something that they know they've been specifically called to do. They're completely crippled by fear, and then they just end up regretting it for the rest of their lives and just wondering like the shoulda, coulda, woulda.
Shoulda, coulda, woulda.
Yeah. And then the other thing too, Jacoy, is that a lot of times people think that God will actually speak to you in words.
Right.
And he'll give you directions, instructions, and a manual. Yeah. So, Coach Karena, like in that particular situation, how did you handle that? Did God tell you everything he wanted you to do regarding your ministry with women?
Great question, Festina. And honestly, he still hasn't told me everything.
Mm-hmm. Right.
There's never, ever a time where he's going to give you the entirety of the vision that he has for your life. Right. You have to move out in faith. And I want to say this also, Jacoy, you said, sometimes women are afraid to move into their lane. Yes. I want to, this is a myth that I want to address this. There is no lane.
Ooh. Say that again.
You have to understand that when God calls you, he may tell you to go over there, over there, over there, but he's equipping you. So if we have our mindset stuck on, I got to stay in my lane, then we're never going to branch out. We're never going to go where we need to go. Yeah. So, I don't subscribe to a lane for my life.
I like
if he
that.
said we're going to do it, guess what? Your girl going to do it.
No questions asked, no excuses, nothing.
Unapologetic.
I love that.
Yeah,
Absolutely.
Yeah. So, question, or not even a question. I remember learning something too, and Jacoy, I honestly think I learned this from you. So we talk about moving in our purpose, and they saying if you don't move, the people that you're supposed to have with you or beside you or around you, your team, they can't move because you didn't move in your purpose. And so I just want to say, Miss Karena, did you have team and people that just flocked with you whenever you decided to say, you made up your mind, okay, Lord, I'm going to go ahead and do what you said to do, and I'm going to go ahead and be this person for these women entrepreneurs? Was it some other people that you kind of locked arms with and they were able to move with you?
Absolutely, and that's at every level from back in 2008, 2009. Now, certainly all of those people may not be with me now, but at every level, there are people that are assigned to your purpose in that moment.
Right.
And so even now, it is amazing to see every time I move into another position closer to that vision, I see an opening of different people that have been assigned, and it is so amazing to me. You know, and I have to remind myself, Karena, you're not too late. So I try not to get into that condemnation, that guilty thing of, oh my goodness, I should have done this years ago. I just move, and I'm thankful, because when I move, y'all know that when I move, you move, we move.
Yeah, right. That's right. Yeah.
All right. So, Coach Karena,
I'm just thankful for that. So absolutely, when I move, I do see certain ones moving as well, and we do link arms, and it is amazing to see. It's absolutely phenomenal to see.
Yes, Coach Karena, and that's something that Black women need to make sure that we stay focused on. Now, you say go be great, Coach Karena. So I want to ask you two questions. That first, where did that come from?
So my daughter, I have a daughter, she'll be 24 at the end of the year. And I have always, one of the first gifts that God revealed to me was that I am an exhorter, which means I empower, I encourage, I equip. I do all of these things with people. And so I never knew, you know, from a very young age that this is who I was. And so my daughter would always tell me, Mommy, you're boosting. You know, this is back in the early 2000s. And the boosting, she meant you're boosting people's ego.
Okay.
And I would tell her, no, I'm really not. I see potential in people, and I want to highlight that potential. But beyond that, I want you to have the knowledge in your mind that you're not waiting for permission, but I'm telling you, go be great. Yeah. If you ever think that you're waiting for permission to do it, you've got it. Go be great. Just go.
Just go. Just do it.
Permission.
That's Coach Karena. Coach Karena. Coach Karena, this is Basine again. I have another question for you, because you talk about making an impact and legacy building. So what two impactful and legacy building things do you still want to accomplish on your bucket list?
Well, two of them are they're material things, but there's so much more after that. My main legacy, Festina, is that I want to leave a legacy of knowledge of self. That you are who you can be, who you know you should be, who you deserve to be, and make that impact that you know you have. But one of the legacies that I want to leave is really for women. I want to have a compound, if you will. Nothing like David Koresh or anything.
No, we ain't coming out. We ain't coming out.
Not for that. No.
But I want to have a facility where women can come and get everything that they need and then go back out. I look at life and our purpose as a domino effect in reverse. If I stand you up and then you go and stand somebody else up and then they stand somebody else up, how much can we do in the world? And so that's really the main thing that I want to be able to do. That's the huge legacy that I want to leave.
I love that. Well, sign me up, Coach.
Put me in, Coach. I'm ready to play.
Let's do
today. Yeah, all right.
You go ahead.
Okay. That's right. So something that you said, Karena, is the fact that as it relates to women and not staying in a lane, I'm still stuck on that. Like I'm still like 2 minutes back, because I do think, and we say that a lot, is like, okay, I need to stay in my lane. But you're right. The person that you are as a mindset and life coach, and then even the platform that we offer here, you know, it's one of those things where we want the women that we are supporting to know that they have a voice, that they already have permission.
Exactly.
Yeah, that's what this
And
platform is.
and like you say, if God is calling you to do something or positioning you for something, you're right. It could be a 5-lane highway, but you will have the permission, you'll have the tools, you'll have the know-how to cross those lanes and be able to just move gracefully in whatever way that He's calling you to. So I appreciate you disrupting that norm, because this platform here is really about that, is challenging and disrupting the norm in the business world. And so you hit the nail on the head with that. So thank you for saying that. And so what we're going to do, we are going to go to a really quick break here because I'm ready to get into the meat and potatoes. I'm ready. The meat and taters. I'm ready to get into the meat and taters. And so we're going to take a quick break here. But if you are listening, you are in for a treat. We are here with the wonderful certified mindset and life coach, Karena Calhoun of WK Consulting. And you're here with the Boardroom with Black Women's Wall Street, Inc., where you will always have a seat at the table.
Let's keep the conversation going. It's the Boardroom with Black Women's Wall Street Incorporated.
All right. This is the Boardroom with Black Women's Wall Street, Inc. This is Jacoy James Pugh.
This is Latoya Barrows.
And hello, welcome back to the Boardroom. This is Festina.
All right, and so we have been talking with the amazing Karena Calhoun. And before we get back into that interview, let's let the people know who we are. Who are we as Black Women's Wall Street, Inc., Festina?
Listen, we are an entrepreneurial development organization, and our mission is to empower Black women aspiring to become business owners by providing business training, financial literacy, and education so that they can impact local and global communities. Thank you, Latoya. Appreciate that. Listen, one of the things we also talk about is when you give to Black Women's Wall Street, Inc., you're not just making a donation. You're investing in us and ultimately in the Black women that we serve. But we're also a women-centric organization, so we have a lot of other activities that we do for women. So we want you to know that when you invest in us, you invest in the Boardroom with Black Women's Wall Street, Inc. to keep us on the air. And then also, too, we have our Idea to Inception entrepreneurship program. It's going on now, and we do have some of our courses on Eventbrite right now. Go sign up, okay? And then we have our Black Women's Wall Street and capacity building, because we have a number of programs that we're going to implement. Our small business consulting, our I2I Sister Circle. We want to create an environment for women going through our program to feel supported and encouraged. And then our I2I mentors. We want to be able to provide them with mentorship and continued support, because again, we're creating an ecosystem, an entrepreneurial development organization, not just a nonprofit. So Latoya, tell them how they can connect with us, please.
Absolutely. So you guys can visit us on our website at www.blackwomenswallstreet.org/The Boardroom. You can check us out on Instagram, Facebook, and TikTok at The Boardroom Radio Show. On Twitter, we're at Boardroom_radio, and LinkedIn at The Boardroom Radio. Since we're talking about social media,
Yes.
let's see who's on this thing
Who's
with us.
on Facebook Live?
Let's see.
Is my mama out?
All right.
Is my mama watching?
I know Latoya's mom is there.
My mom is
Miss Gwen. Hi, Miss Gwen.
I don't see your mom on here.
Let me call her.
But she said, let me call her. Okay, so I see a Miss Serena Baldwin Dugan.
Hi, Miss
Donegan. Excuse me. Yes, Miss Serena. All right.
By the way, Serena, that she designed my boardroom shoes.
Okay.
Miss
Okay.
Serena.
Shout out to Miss
Shout out to
Serena.
Serena.
Designs. Come
All
on.
right, come through. All right, then we have Gwen Ham. That's my mom.
Hey, Miss
Hi,
Gwen.
Mom. All
Greetings,
right.
Mommy.
Yes, we have a Pat Esther Emerson. Thank you for
Hello,
joining
Pat.
us.
Hi, beautiful.
All right, that's who we got watching with us. Y'all just check us out every Monday, 6 p.m. Central Standard Time, y'all.
All right,
Thanks for tuning in.
Let's dig in. Let's get to the meat and taters. Miss Karena, you still with us?
Coach
I
Karena.
am with you, ladies.
All
Yes.
right, so Karena, so we've had a good time the first half, just getting to know a little bit about you and the direction, the path that you've taken, and really where God has taken you and told you to go into. And we understand the story about Go Be Great, and where you were telling us a fun story about where your daughter was saying that you were boosting people's ego, or that you were helping people to understand their greatness and that they have the permission to be great. What's one thing that you would say that you've encountered when working with individuals, when you are giving them the permission to be great? Do they feel empowered and immediately feel their greatness? What do you experience?
A lot of times it's a process, Jacoy. But ultimately, within a couple of sessions, they do begin to really understand. I never want people to walk away. Let me break something down for you. There's a difference between being empowered to do something and receiving tools and strategies to actually go and take bold action steps. And so long gone should be the days of us simply empowering people. So I never want to just empower somebody, because that's short-lived. Yeah. So I like to work with people so that when they leave from my sessions, they know that whether they hear from me ever again in life, if God calls me, that they actually have the tools that they need to continue to go be great and not have to come back and get a refill every couple of months. But really just digging deep in and knowing, listen, I got what I need. And I said it just like that. I got what I need. Because you have to know what you need is already inside of you. It is literally there. It just needs to be uncovered. It needs to be pulled out, and it needs to be shined. You have to shine some things sometimes, but it's already there.
Yeah.
Yes. Wow, that's amazing.
So I want to back up just a little bit, because you talked earlier about a podcast that you have. So I want to dig a little bit deeper into that, because that is also what I would call a platform, just like our radio show. So tell us a little bit about your podcast and what sparked your interest to become a podcast host.
So several years ago, I would do these quick, short Facebook Live interviews. And I really have a desire to bring people to the forefront. Believe it or not, I am an extreme introvert. People find that hard to believe.
I do not believe that. I am so shocked.
With the flaming red hair, Minister?
Right,
Minister
no.
Really?
I am an extreme introvert. And so, but I have this strong desire to have people situated in such a place that they know they belong exactly where they are, where they should be. And so I started doing Facebook Live interviews years ago, and I did one with a friend of mine at that time, and her husband, they were sitting there, and I was, interviewing her. But as soon as we got off the call, they both texted me and said, God showed me you doing a podcast. And I was like, whatever. And it started happening. I literally woke up one day, and it was just literally in my spirit, do a podcast. And I'm like, I have no idea how to do a podcast. I know nothing about a podcast. And I just started doing it. Right. But my main focus was to really deliver tips, tools, and strategies, usable. Not just fluff, but usable. Yeah. You all know.
Yes,
ma'am. You walk away and you're getting exactly what you need. And I wanted to be able to do that, and then also highlight other business owners. I wanted to give them an opportunity to really put themselves out there in front of the world.
Okay.
Love that. Yeah. That's amazing. And one of the things what you said highlights is that, in addition to the fact that the Holy Spirit will drag you into your purpose, God does call the qualified, but he also qualifies the called. And so we all have to understand, if he gives us purpose, it doesn't matter if we're good at it. Right. He will show us and lead us the way. So that just kind of brings me to what motivates you. What's the number one motivating factor that sort of pushes you and keeps you focused on your mission through the most challenging of times?
Great question. So if you give me just a second, I would like to just kind of clarify some things with the listeners. There's a difference between inspiration and motivation. Okay. Inspiration is internal. And that's something that's going to get you up in the morning at 5 a.m. because you know you have purpose, you know you have impact, you know that that's what you're supposed to be doing, and you're gonna hit the ground running. And so that is that internal drive. But then there's motivation. Motivation could be the green grass outside. It could be, something that you see, a nice picture, something can motivate you and spark something under you. And so I like to tell people there's a difference, because sometimes that motivation, we try to latch on to it and it takes us only but so far. We get down the street and we need another hit. Right. But when you can tap into your inspiration, my inspiration is that I want to make sure I am maximizing my purpose every single day. Right. And that's what keeps me going.
Okay, Coach, I have a follow-up question real quick. This is Facine again, because you're talking about inspiration and motivation. What do you think about affirmations?
Affirmations is great. That affirmations is a form of really setting your mind, getting your mind in the right place. Mm-hmm. If you have maybe some negative thoughts or something like that, affirmations are good for that. It's good to help beat it back. Affirmations is a temporary fix, but I love affirmations because you can have affirmations all over the place. I have them, I use them, and they're wonderful, but they're a form of motivation.
Oh, yeah. I love that. Okay, Jacoy, I need to take notes. I'm a teacher's teaching, so I'm going to pass the mic to you, please. Let me take notes. Okay, teacher's teaching.
She needs a session, Karena. So today's topic, what we were focusing on is the wealth and inequality income gap. And so, Karena, just switching gears now, what, in your opinion, outside of systemic injustices, what, in your opinion, is a reason why we as black women, as a black community as a whole, are challenged in building or acquiring wealth?
So, can I take a second to just be transparent about my own life?
Yes.
I'm a 3-time college dropout. Okay. 3-time college dropout, tried to go to college 3 times, dropped out, never got a diploma, never got a degree.
Yeah.
And so when I entered corporate America 22 years ago, I started from the bottom up. But I had dreams and aspirations. The last company that I worked for in corporate America, I was an assistant vice president over 4 departments. I was a little black girl without a college degree. I sat at the table with other people. They were all white men, except for one was a white woman. But I sat at this table with these individuals. But what got me there, God got me there, but another thing that got me there was I had to stop believing the lie. There was a lie that I had been believing for a very long time, and that, I believe, is one of the things that's holding women back, black women back, from being at that table. That, in addition to, for whatever reason, we feel like we have to prove that we should be at a table. Baby, make your own table.
Build your table and your chair.
That. Yeah.
Absolutely.
Build it yourself. And so, those were some things that, and you asked me, why did I do a podcast? Internally, that's one of the reasons why. Yeah. I'm not going to wait to be invited to, I don't know, some of these big time, I'm not going to call no names, but, I'm not going to wait to be invited to their podcast. I'm not going to let my people, whoever they are, black, white, whoever, on my level, who are pushing every single day in entrepreneurship, I'm not going to let them wait either.
Yeah, right.
So I'm building that table. So we have believed the lie that we have to wait to be called to the table. No, baby, build your own table. Build it yourself.
Absolutely.
Indeed. I am loving all of these nuggets. Build it yourself. So, that's what we are all about here at the Boardroom. We say, come have a seat at this table, because that's why we built it as well. So I'm hearing you on that. So now tell me, regarding your services for helping women to unveil their authentic selves, okay, can you tell our audience one piece of advice that can help them to unveil their authentic selves?
Absolutely. One thing that you can begin to do immediately is to really survey where your beliefs came from. A lot of times we think our beliefs are our own, but they're really influenced by family, mama and them, auntie, cousins, those people that taught us in school. You would be absolutely surprised to know that a lot of the beliefs that we've had throughout the years really don't align with our own values, and that's why we're bumping up against so much right now in our lives, because we are internally trying to get to our purpose, but because of these beliefs, they're stopping us. So I would say really take stock of what your beliefs are. What are your values right now?
I love that. All right, Coach, this is Faustina again. One of the things that I like to talk about is everyone looking at another person's passion, purpose, and potential. Because for one thing, your resume doesn't speak to who you are and everything that you can do. And that for me ties back to your go be great. So how would what would you say to someone who has absolutely no idea what they want to do, but they know they need to do something because where they're at isn't where they want to be, and God isn't speaking to them and telling them, okay, go do this?
Absolutely. So I want to back up just a little bit. You mentioned that sometimes people are looking at other folks and looking at them in their passion and in their purpose. I want to say this. There is a difference between passion and purpose. And a lot of people are chasing passion. And I say that people are chasing things they don't realize. A lot of times when you're chasing something that does not belong to you. Wow. That's why you're chasing it. Because it's not yours.
Teach. Teach.
Okay.
Teach. Yes, Jacoy snaps.
So when we're chasing these things, we're out of breath, we're exhausted, we don't know what to do, we're fed up. But then the other side of that is passion. When you look up the definition of passion, the Latin definition of passion, and when you think about Jesus Christ, passion means suffering. So when you're in your passion, as I was for many years in corporate America, and then when I came out of corporate America, tried to become a certified financial coach because I had 22 years, and so that was my passion. And so let me do this. I was miserable. I hated it. I had clients, but it just was not what God had called me to do. I was in my passion. I was suffering. When I began to lean heavily into my purpose, which is purpose means to hit the mark, to aim, then we good. Then that's where you see me today. And so I would say really identify what's your passion. And I'm not saying I have a love-hate relationship with passion. I'm not saying you can't have some in your purpose. But if you fully into your passion, 9 times out of 10 is not where you're supposed to be.
That's
9
true.
times out of 10.
That's
Okay.
true.
Now your purpose, you can have the same fire and zeal in your purpose, just as I do now. But when you lean heavily into that passion, you kind of run amok sometimes. So,
Love it.
I would say really identify what it is that you really want to be doing. Identify what your talents are. Identify all of this. Really sit down and look at who you are. Really look at what it is you see before you. And a lot of times, Faustina, honestly, it's a matter of cleaning our lens. How we see ourselves and how we see life around us. How we see the impact that we're supposed to be making. You got to clean that lens first.
Clear that clutter. Clear the clutter.
Agreed.
Yes.
So, Karena, one thing that I will ask or mention again is that our platform here at the Boardroom, our show is focusing on Black women, and the focus is to challenge and disrupt the norm in the business world. So what, in your opinion, is one thing that we as Black women should do to disrupt the norm in business and in the boardroom?
Be our authentic selves. Because if we can be our authentic selves, oh my goodness. I would say 2 things: being your authentic self and being in your purpose, because those 2 things is going to disrupt everything around us. And I believe 100%, see, now I'm getting excited. I believe 100% if you do those 2 things, the community around you will change. It has no choice but to change.
Yes.
Absolutely.
Wow. Yes. Disrupt the norm, shatter the status quo.
I love
Make that shift.
Yes. So, Karena, I really hate this, but it's time to wrap up. But here's the thing. This is not goodbye.
No.
This is
Till next time.
See you
Till next
later.
time.
Yeah.
Because we have a bigger, deeper conversation to
Yes.
have. And so, Karena, we want to know that you will come back. We are going ahead and inviting you back on at a later time, but we just want to know that you will come back and to continue to drop these nuggets. Will you come back?
I will be here.
Okay.
Yes.
So let me know and I will be here.
Karena,
Yes,
we
Coach
have
Scobie, great.
Coach Karena. We have
Minister of
enjoyed you. Thank you so much. And really quick, let the people know how they can get in contact with you.
Listen, I have a link tree that is extremely efficient. Linktree/Coach Karena. That's all you needed to take you to everything about me.
All right. Perfect. You heard it. Well, thank you again, Karena, for being with us today. We enjoyed you, and we'll see you again.